Hi, everyone. Welcome to Dual Learning Podcast, the show where we help you learn English while exploring fascinating ideas to grow in your life and career. I'm Claudia.
And I'm a Cody. Today, we're diving into a book that's all about improving your communication skills, The Pyramid Principle by Barbara Minto. Whether you're writing emails, creating presentations, or just organizing your thoughts, this book is packed with tips that can make you sharper and clearer.
Exactly. And don't worry if you're not familiar with all the English words we use today. We'll explain key vocabulary as we go, so you can learn both language and new skills.
All right, let's get started. Let me ask you this, Claudia. Have you ever written something, maybe an email or a report, and felt like the person reading it didn't understand your main point?
Oh, all the time. I'd write long messages, but my key idea would get lost in all the details. I think a lot of our listeners might relate to that too.
For sure. And that's the problem Barbara Minto set out to solve with her pyramid principle. She created a method to help you structure your writing so it's clear, logical, and easy to understand. So, let's explore what makes this method so effective.
To start, let's talk about why so many people struggle with writing. According to Minto, the problem isn't that we don't have ideas, it's that our ideas aren't organized clearly.
Exactly. Minto says most people use what she calls conclusions at last writing. This means you write down all your thoughts first, then figure out your main idea at the end. But here's the thing. Your reader doesn't want to wait until the end to understand your point. They want it up front, or right at the beginning.
That's true. Readers naturally look for patterns and logical connections. If your writing doesn't give them structure, they'll feel confused or frustrated.
Let's pause for a moment to explain some of the words we just used. First, we said conclusions last. This means putting your conclusion, the main point or idea, at the end of your writing. The opposite is as conclusions first, which is what Barbara Minto recommends.
We also use the word logical. It means something that makes sense or follows a clear order. For example, if you say, "I'm tired because I didn't sleep," that's logical. But if you say, "I'm tired because I ate breakfast," that doesn't make sense.
One more word, frustrated. This means feeling annoyed or upset because something isn't working the way you want. For example, I was frustrated when my internet stopped working during my meeting. Got it?
Great. Now let's move on to the solution, the pyramid principle.
All right, so what is the pyramid principle? Barbara Minto says that all great writing should follow the shape of a pyramid. At the top, you have your main conclusion, your big idea. Underneath that, you group your supporting points. And under each of those points, you include evidence or examples.
It's like a hierarchy, right? The most important thing is at the top, and everything else supports it.
Exactly. For example, imagine you're writing a report about why your company should invest in renewable energy. Your top conclusion might be, we should invest in renewable energy because it saves money and protects the environment. Then, you break it into two supporting points. One, how it saves money, and two, how it protects the environment. Under each point, you add specific data or examples.
Let's explain a couple of words here. First, hierarchy. This means a system where things are ranked or organized from most important to least important. For example, in a company, the CEO is at the top of the hierarchy.
And we said, renewable energy. This refers to energy sources like solar or wind power that don't run out. They're called renewable because they can be used over and over again.
Perfect. Now, let's discuss why starting with the conclusion is so effective.
Minto's golden rule is to always start with the conclusion. Why? Because it respects your reader's time. They immediately know what you're trying to say and why it matters.
Exactly. And it helps you too, because once you know your main point, it's easier to organize everything else.
Here's a fun fact. This method is backed by psychology. Our brains process information better when we see the big picture first. It's called the chunking, which means grouping related information together to make it easier to remember.
Quick note on vocabulary. Chunking means breaking something into smaller, manageable parts. For example, when you learn a phone number, you might remember it as 123 and 456 and 7890 instead of 10 separate numbers.
And we said golden rule. This just means an important rule or principle that you should always follow.
Got it? All right, let's move on to how to actually use the pyramid in your writing.
Now let's talk about practical applications. You can use the pyramid principle for emails, reports, presentations, and even casual conversations.
Emails are a great place to start. Instead of writing a long introduction, start with your conclusion. For example, we should approve the marketing budget because it will help us reach our Q1 goals. Then, add 2 to 3 supporting points.
In reports, use the pyramid to create an executive summary. For example, this report recommends launching product A because it fills a market gap, uses existing resources, and promises high ROI. Then, organize the body of the report into sections that expand on these points.
For presentations, start your first slide with the key takeaway. For instance, our new strategy will increase profits by 25%. Here's how. 1. Better targeting. 2. Optimized processes. And 3. Cost reductions. Each slide can dive deeper into these points.
Let's pause for some words. First, executive summary. This is a short overview of a report that gives the main points. Think of it as a quick version of the full report.
We also said ROI, which stands for return on investment. It means the profit you get compared to what you spend. For example, if you invest $100 and earn $150, your ROI is 50%.
Great. Now let's talk about everyday conversations.
The pyramid works in casual settings too. Imagine convincing your friends to try a new restaurant. Instead of saying, the food is good and the prices are low, start with, let's go to restaurant X. It's affordable and has great food. Then explain why.
All right, that's the pyramid principle, a method to organize your thoughts and communicate clearly. Whether you're writing emails or making big presentations, this framework can help you get your point across effectively.
And remember, this podcast isn't just about learning ideas, it's about practicing English too. Here's your challenge. Write a short email this week using the pyramid structure. Start with your main point, add supporting details, and see how it feels.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends or leave a review. And don't forget to subscribe for more episodes where we combine English learning with valuable ideas. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.